kicked this one off by grabbing down some 1/2 inch diameter conduit pipe that I wanted to use for the hooks and getting that clamped down to my welding bench. Once it was clamped down, I grabbed my 4.5 inch angle grinder, unwound the cord. Gotta make sure you do that, very important step. And just as important of a step is making sure it's plugged in and that there is power to the outlet. And once all those steps have been checked off the list, the next thing to do in logical order would be to actually cut the piping, which I did. However, the edges were all rough, so I made a little jig with a 1-2-3 block to get some angle iron square to the platen of our grinder, and use that to grind both ends on each of our 3 pieces of pipe square, so that way we wouldn't have any angled edges when we go to weld. After I was done with that, I took it over to the bench grinder and chamfered all the edges to get rid of any burr, as well as make it a little bit cleaner for welding. And once I was done with that, I drilled a hole in each of the angle brackets because we needed at least 2 holes to hang them from, and one of them was going to get covered up when we welded the tubing on. And once all those holes were drilled, it was time to turn the welder on and get welding. Normally welding is the most stressful part, but it went really smoothly with this project. I was really happy with it. I put a tack weld at each end and then went back and put one all the way along each side, flipping back and forth to make sure nothing warped. And this went way smoother than I was expecting. It was really nice. I was scared with how thin wall that tubing was, but it came out really nicely. Anyway, once the welding was done, I took a square to where I wanted to hang these, and I made a line to make sure they were all at the same height, and then figured out where I wanted to position each hook. And then I marked with a pencil and drilled out a hole. Because we were just in drywall and there were no studs, I did have to go back and hammer in some drywall plugs, which I was worried would not be able to hold the weight of all these hand saws, but it held up fantastically. I was really pleased with it. And here it is with all the saws hung up. I am going to probably make a couple more of these in the future to hold some others, but this was just a really fun one afternoon project. I hope it gave you some ideas for something simple you could do to hang up some tools. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Hopefully. Maybe. Maybe not. Okay. Bye.